Hey everyone, and welcome to the premiere of the Lands of Alaire Season 3. I'm Ian, the Dungeon Master, and I'm joined here by my two good friends, Tori and Aaron of Joined by Gaming, my younger brother, Tyler, our good friend, Scott, and my older brother, TJ. We are very excited, of course, as always, to jump back into the adventure, but there's going to be some awesome stuff this episode. We have a free comic book day giveaway to do at the break. We're going to be doing a drawing for some really awesome, exclusive, full art comics, and stick around for the break to see who wins that.
Yes, thank you for making it our best free comic book day yet.
Yeah.
We've done 3. This was far and away the best one.
So much appreciated to our community, our beloved followers, and all those who appreciate Freakopolis and the Lands of Alaire.
So stick around for the break.
Yeah, that's when it all goes down. So, unless there's anything more we want to announce, we'll jump into a huge recap, because I'm going to cover everything we've done thus far. You guys good to go?
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, so our heroes, Erlon, Melee, Leander, Jar, and Gilroy, have been traveling the lands for some months. Their story began as prisoners, relegated to fighting off orcish tribes deep in the mountains of northeastern Sarengar. During their battle, they discovered an evil plot to overthrow the Jarl of Sarengar, a rising rebellion that threatened to finally destroy the weakened kingdom. Gathering unlikely allies in the form of a half-orc mage from the far south, Zorn, a melancholy and misplaced ranger, Jantel, a local farm boy who took up his father's sword, Olerin, and a sneaky halfling with a penchant for overfilling his pockets, Bilberry. Our party struck south, intent on beating the rebellion to the capital of Sarengar, River's End. During their journey, they defended the weak and rescued the oppressed. More heroes joined their quest: Fralthane Half-Ogre, Nonagus Zane the Alchemist, Singstalter the Gnomish Inventor, and Arena, a cleric of Torm and one of Leander's closest friends. Together they discovered ancient lost magics, teleportation portals, and pools of farsight. They negotiated with masters of the criminal underworld and cast demons back to the abyss. Together they faced down the treacherous Vorkin, leader of the rebellion, and cast him down before he could see his plans through. However, during the fight they lost their stalwart companion, Olerin. Soon our heroes learned from Jarl Morgaunt of Sarengar himself of the existence of Clara, the only known Aasimar to have ever existed on Alaire, who was under his protection, as well as the treachery of the Farinwellian Empire and their king, Devarius Caldenon. Farinwell, which had brought their neighboring kingdoms low in an endless conquest for expansion, threatens to decimate all other people with their legions marching in all directions. What's more, they seem to be desperately trying to locate Clara, and for this reason, she must be kept safe and secret. However, if our heroes could gather forces, those that are still willing to rebel, members of the legendary Order of Swords, they may very well be able to drive back the Farinwellians, defeating them once and for all. The Jarl and his close ally, Sibelius, of the Midnight Court, entrusted Clara to the party and commanded them to run before the Farinwellians marched once more on River's End. Together, the companions fled north, back to the teleportation portal that they had discovered prior to reaching the capital. After a quick confrontation with the Inquisition, they jumped into the portal, finding themselves in a new land, Karadmoren, a mountainous kingdom of dwarves far to the west of Sarengar. Swiftly, our party and their allies, Jantel, Zorn, Bilberry, Clara, Arena, Nonagus, and Fralthane, made their way to the nearby city of Waterwheel, meeting the half-drow bard, Jar, and his compatriot, Limrolt the dwarf, on the way. They defended the town's strange and foreign inhabitants from giant attacks by maintaining their lightning gate, along with the help of Singstalter, who had made his way to Waterwheel some weeks prior. They made friends and allies with the mayor of the town, Bonet Benevel, a scarred and well-meaning dwarf, and her champion, Godric, a Goliath of incredible strength and honor. Soon they discovered the mayor belongs to the Order of Swords, and proved their valor by defeating the Spider King, Jar's old slave master, halting a ritual that would have summoned a ruinous demon to wreak havoc on Karadmoren. Upon return, the mayor invited them to join her as she marched north towards Steelhammer Stronghold, intent on negotiating with Clan Molnar, with which she had warred against in the past. The party brought a wagon, the Landmaster XL, yet to be renamed. Joined the caravan along with a group of elves looking to oversee negotiations, and members of the Karadmoren, Clan Molnar's military, which had been sent as well. During the journey, our party defeated the Everlasting Father, a mutated frost giant, whose corruption had been spreading throughout the land, and proved their Mako to a civilization of lizardmen who had found their place along the shores of a great lake. During this test, they battled with none other than the King of Farinwell, the various Caldenon, in a dream realm, and learned much about him in the process. The king is a paladin, seemingly haunted by his past, and his conviction is great. They were cast out of the dream realm one by one, but fought with valor, and left with a mark that proved their honor to the lizard folk, permitting them and their caravan to pass. During their journey, our party also hired a wagon driver, Hurston, a dwarvish former soldier who looks to explore Alaire along the many roads, to maintain their wagon and their horses during their adventures. Our party fought their way past harpies and dwarvish separatists, and finally entered Steelhammer Stronghold, the greatest creation of dwarves on Alaire. In the throne room, they spoke with the king of the dwarves, Vinveriac, and his son, Raoun. The heroes were challenged to defeat the supposed source of the dwarf strife, for the past few decades in the least, the collapse of their mines due to a great purple worm. Delving deep below the mines, the party battled with the worm, ultimately striking it down while discovering the true cause of the corruption within Clan Molnar. Deep below the stronghold lay the crypt of the legendary dwarvish hero and founder of Karadmoren, Baronin Molnar, and his golden hammer, which brought madness to the minds of any dwarf who gazed upon it. Wisely, they tossed the hammer into a pool of lava, releasing its powerful enchantments, and replenishing the mines with ore, raw material that can be used in the rebellion against Farinwell. Together, our heroes cast Vinveriac Molnar from his seat in Steelhammer Stronghold and instilled his son as the new lord, as well as the mayor as one of his closest advisor, making allies of the remaining members of the Order of Swords throughout Karadmoren. Our heroes journeyed back to Waterwheel, leaving their allies Singstalter and Fralthane where they are most needed, and then began to trek south toward the high elvish kingdom of Elenvir, a land of white sand beaches, blue skies, and grand granite temples. Now, after some days on the road, traveling past low rocky mountains and fields of low shrubs, over ridges and fjords, our party and their allies swiftly approached the border of Elenvir and Karadmoren, and the settlement situated there, Old Town. So, passing through southern Karadmoren around a bend of mountains, the air is clean and sweet, and the trees are fully open now, their leaves basking in the sun, and the sirens of nearby goblins scrambling to undo a forest fire. So, you guys are traveling along, and Leander, Arena for the past few days, it's been about 10 days on the road since you left Waterwheel. She is excited to see Elenvir. She has read books on it, she's seen drawings of the temples and whatnot, and she goes, Sumedia, the oldest of the cities on all of Alaire. I've waited so long to see it, and finally, we are headed in that direction.
Yes, it will be quite the experience.
I'm sure. Impressive how those dwarves took to you, Leander. I mean, your qualities, of course, are just and fine, as always, but you wouldn't expect them to be so inviting.
No, I was surprised myself.
Hopefully the high elves stay the same. They
Yes.
can be just as noble, exclusive.
Yes. They share some similar qualities with another nation sometimes.
Yes. And in the background, as you two walk along front, Clara is sitting on top of the Landmaster. Jar, you're probably walking alongside with Hurston at the reins. And Clara looks down towards you, Jar, and she goes, I'm really glad we have this wagon now. I was very tired of trekking across the land like that. And she looks at her back and she goes, I'm afraid these wings don't quite fly yet.
Well, you'll get there. Hopefully.
Limrold turns back from his wagon a bit further ahead, and careening over, he calls out from behind him, and he goes, Oh, we'll get there. We're coming up on Old Town now, Jar. Our good friends at the careening cart wheel, they'll be waiting on us.
Indeed. It is The best place in all of Alaire.
Yeah. For us. The rest of you, well, it might seem kind of boring, but it might be a nice change of pace compared to the past few weeks.
Oh, yes.
Don't make any trouble.
Who would do that?
And so, it seems as though, based on Limrolt's word, it's going to be another 2 days or so to make it to Old Town. Is there anything you guys would like to do on the cart during this travel?
I'm curious as to Clara if she's been practicing at all with her archery while I've been out doing things.
She does have the longbow at the ready. However, what she managed to do, you see her seemingly studying away on a scrap of paper, on occasion, in dark corners and whatnot. And she seems to be really focused in on it, and then if someone walks across the windows of the wagon, she closes it up very quickly. And it's the amount of time you spend with her, you begin to note this pattern.
Well, I mean, I'm in the wagon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she's in there reading?
On occasion, yeah. It looks like she's trying to study something.
Okay. You really should get more sun, Clara.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You don't want to end up like me. Old and balding and pale.
Your hair's growing back in.
Yes, it's true. It's disgusting. But what are you reading anyway?
Well, the half-orc Zorn. He had a very interesting book by the campfire one night, and I was intrigued as to what he was reading on, and I'm a good reader myself, so...
I'm sorry, is Melee in
Yeah, you can
Okay,
bust your way
I'll
on
see
into
her.
this scene, no problem.
Melee is a little protective of Clara, so
Definitely.
I can't imagine she'd be too far.
Alright.
Okay.
She tentatively pulls out a scrap of paper, torn at one end, obviously ripped out of a book, and she goes, he hasn't seemed to notice yet. She hands it over to you, Gilroy. You immediately, it's a mage hand.
This is all wrong.
Yes, well, so
Listen.
I overheard him saying he only really likes spells that blow things up, so wouldn't be
Right.
surprised.
He's on the right track, but if you really want a good mage hand, you'll need these runes.
I don't think this is entirely appropriate,
What?
Gilroy.
You can hand her a bow, but as soon as she holds a piece of paper...
You have more control over a bow and arrow than you have over what is on that piece of paper. Magic is fine for you and other people, but she needs to know how to protect herself practically.
Yes, but a bow can only kill. Magic is capable of all sorts of things. And this seems like a good start.
I just don't think it's a priority.
Out here on the road while we waste away the miles, I could teleport us back to Sarengar any moment if you would like, and we can hide her there. But for now, we're stuck here in the wagon.
Until we run into a giant in 5 minutes.
I hear this is fire giant territory. Always afraid of those guys. Never seem to show up.
It is a powerful and dangerous study, inevitably.
I'll stay to the easy end of it. I just thought that, well, it's good reading material in the least, and I've seen what you can do. It's very intriguing.
If anything, Jar has proven that you can learn magic without becoming incredibly dangerous. So...
Battle axe on his back, walking along, party trouble.
I can't disagree.
Jar, with your passive perception, you over here don't want to say this.
This is a good start, I think. I approve. I'm not the only one looking out for you, though, and if the group thinks it's unwise, well, I can't stop them from you studying that, so...
She turns towards you, Melee, and she goes, just this one. Just let me learn this one, and we'll see if I'm any good at it.
If it doesn't interfere with your other studying, your other training.
Well, all right. Tonight, I'll go out with Chantel. Maybe go for a hunt or something. I'll make sure to put the paper down. But maybe tomorrow I could pick up a log for you from a distance.
And maybe Gilroy would be willing to help instead of you studying. You have to return the sheet of paper to Zorn. I
that
think
much
we
is
are
true,
all
yes.
agree with that and apologize to him and then work safely and practically with Gilroy.
She looks a little bit ashamed, but she goes, okay, all right. It's just you all seem to go off on such grand adventures, and I've seen you've grown very powerful. I want to be like that someday. Not just locked away in a tower or in a wagon, but...
Or a basement.
And from outside, if you need to learn Dwarvish, I can help, not Gilroy.
And so the day goes on. Is there anything more, Gilroy?
I had one last quip, but...
In classic Gilroy fashion, it's mumbled and wasted. And the evening draws along, and as you guys pull to the side of the road and begin setting up camp, you see a somewhat familiar-looking cart traveling back east and north in the opposite direction as you. It has a few small figures around it, probably goblins. It may very well be the Grimshank cart that left in that direction some time ago. You, in particular, note this, Erlon, as you are probably looking out over the road and whatnot, staying scout. And do you guys approach? They seem to be meandering at their classic slow goblin pace.
Sure.
What is their cart pulled by? Is it just like donkeys?
Yeah, it's mules, yeah. They have two very, actually rather treated well mules. They seem to favor them and really make sure that they're in decent shape. They brush them and feed them. They have a feed bag right in front of them. It also looks like they have them go for a long whiles on these roads, but not at a great pace. As you approach, one of them comes running up with a staff, a gnarled piece of wood. You, Erlon, and you, Leander, are you coming as well, Melee?
I think so.
Jar, Gilroy?
Sure.
Alright, so, specifically, Erlon and Leander probably in the front, and as you approach, one of them comes running on up to you with a staff, does a little hop like you've seen in the past, and he goes, Grimshank Clan! Ooh, 10% discount! Yes, you're good to us. I remember Cousin Gimri. Yes. He comes hobbling on over to the cart and whacks the side of it, and it falls open once again with its large display of potions and tinctures. And once again, they have greater healing potions for 450 gold with your 10% discount. And those are 44 plus 4, and ice, fire, and lightning oils for a plus 1d8 per 1 minute. And those are 450 gold as well. So if you guys would like any of those.
I think we have 5 healing potions. This is what I have written.
And I think I have 2 personal greater healing potions.
You guys never drank the healing potions?
No, man, I just flex. And I'm
Yeah, for real.
we all.
You see a bunch of potions hanging off your belts, and they're like, what?
I'll take some.
What? Well, what can we get you?
I'll take 4 healing potions.
They have 5, so.
Great.
Good, good. Even at discount, good profit.
Hope so.
Excellent.
What was the lightning oil?
The lightning oil plus 1d8 for 1 minute, 450 gold as well. Everything is 450.
Do one of the lightning.
Okay. Anything more from these guys?
No.
just perusing.
Yep.
Alright. Well, they will close things on up and begin making their way back down the road. The sun sinking and the star beginning to twinkle with a great, or the sky beginning to twinkle with a great many stars. Seems as though some low clouds are rolling in, but it's definitely, it doesn't feel like rain. It just feels like it's going to be a cooler evening than the ones you've had in the past few days. And as you've settled down, getting ready with the cart, getting ready with Limralt's cart and your wagon, and a great many tents, you guys settle on a good plateau on the side of the road. And as you retire, Gilroy, you see a familiar glow in your familiar Silas's eyes, Silas the Gazer. And a slight green illuminates your tent in the middle of the night, and a voice rings out, in your mind alone. You can hear and see and feel that the air does not reverberate. Silas is not speaking out loud, but this voice is in your head, and it goes, Gilroy, my, how well you've done. Far beyond expectations, yes. Very good. You now know the secrets of the teleportation runes, yes?
Yes, thanks to... I got them from... I did it myself.
And Silas's eyes all gaze towards your spellbook quickly. Good. That's the means I would like you to return to Nelfarans when the time comes. And you must be ready then. I will give you the runes, and then you shall show. And then the many secrets held deep below that library you slaved away in will be revealed to you. Your long work finally come to fruition.
Thank you. I've wanted this for so long. I knew I wouldn't fail, and I'll be there when you call.
Yes. The time is coming quickly. We'll be in contact, Gilroy. And then Silas's eye rolls back, the green light fading from the room, and he bumps his head against the side of your tent. Erlon, as you retire for the evening, you feel yourself, the feeling that you haven't had in a few weeks now, the drifting in this misty kind of airspace, and you feel as though you have the choice to go speak with your ancestors if you would like to.
Of course.
So,
always like to glean some wisdom from them.
Alright, so you dive down to that familiar plateau, though you have not been there in some time. Deep in the mountains, these huge, jagged, snow-capped mountains, the snow and blizzard begins whipping around you, and you can see huddled up beneath the feet of a great ice giant, coated in many feet of ice, though a crack has begun to form that goes up nearly to its waist now, and below that ice giant, of incredible size, sits the familiar forms of Walter the Strong, Malara the Kind, Genra the Quick, and Valret the Patient. And your ancestors await you. And you fly on down and swiftly, with a brushing of snow, appear once more before them. And you are surprised as Walter turns towards you and gives a low bow. And he goes, You have more than proven yourself, child. He puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, We're all very proud. And Genra, Valret, Malara give nods. Crossing their arms, they look towards you. Malara steps forth and goes, I sense something in your heart, child. You miss your family, don't you?
I do. I have never been this far from Sarangar before, and I admit I had been rather close with my mother, but I haven't talked to my father in quite a while. He and the rest of our tribe have secluded themselves to the woods in the east, or in the west.
They remain well hidden. Though, I think we can alleviate your pains for at least a moment. And Malara takes your hand, and you begin to drift far into the sky. Walter, Genra, and Valret take a step back. Genra actually gives a quick wave, and you float along through the night sky, the stars far above you. And Malara goes, Look now below you. And suddenly, with a shimmering, you can see the great tree of your home, the world trees from which all the other trees of Sarangar sprout from their roots. And you can see the dots of your people moving about throughout the summer, and it seems as though they are surviving. In this evening, they've managed to remain hidden, and they have managed to remain thriving. She goes, You won't be able to speak with your family quite yet, but I thought you may appreciate the view once more of your home. and you can see far below you the pools of water in the forests in which you used to hunt and seclude yourself and your peoples, busy at work, and yes, still alive.
Yeah, it brings a tear to Erlon's eyes seeing that everybody is well.
Absolutely.
Even though I can't, like, pick anybody out specifically, it's
No,
nice to see that they're well.
yeah, and you do know, you see the pool near where the dire boar attacked you, and you see the house or home in which your family had raised you when you were very young. And Malara goes, I'm glad that we at least have the power to show you this. We're fortunate to be your ancestors, Erlon. We all realize this now. You have a great destiny before you.
I'm very humbled. Thank you so much for this vision.
And quickly, you begin to feel a shift. It may very well be, Erlon, your physical self waking up. Perhaps a blow of the wind or something that would cause you to, come back to the real space. And you fly on back to the plateau. With incredible speed, Malara brings you back. There, Walter, Genra, and Valret all address you once more. Walter goes, that worm, proving yourself in Karadmoren and Sarengar. It is beyond any feats that I have done. They knew me as Walter the Strong. But truly, Erlon, I believe that title belongs to you now.
I just, like, immediately bow. It's all taken me aback, for sure. Because I looked up to them for so long.
Absolutely.
And I have, their deeds tattooed on my body, so...
And though you do only have a few moments left, you see they have a very emotional reaction to this moment as well. Walter, certainly not crying, although Malara gives off a tear, but you see a shaking in Walter that implies a great emotional upwelling inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly you feel yourself drifting away, and if there's anything you'd like to tell them.
No, I just say, thank you all so much. I hope to continue to make you proud, and hopefully I'll see my family again soon.
Hopefully, my child. And with that, you burst back and awaken with a start, a bit of a cold sweat, but a comfort and a warmness in your heart, and you do know that your peoples are all right. And the morning sun begins to arise. On the 11th day of travel, as you set to the road once more, you begin passing through sparse farmland, which grows leafier greens, whereas in Karadmoren you saw a great many potatoes and subterranean growing vegetables. These people actually have lettuce and stuff, lucky them. After another evening of sleeping at the roadside, which is comparatively uneventful, you guys pass along a great ridge which overlooks the settlement of Old Town and the valley in which it resides. And Old Town appears to be rather mundane, mostly farmers and miners who dig into the local mountains and ridges for coal, spending their days in the moderate climate. And these farms and dirt roads all about the valley loosely group and connect to a circle of taller, simple stone buildings with hay and thatch roofs. A small river runs through the center of town, and the countryside is dotted with various farms and windmills. One of these buildings appears to be slightly larger and lit, as though it is later in the afternoon, they permit some light to shed out of the windows, you presume. That is the tavern that Limralt was mentioning previously, the careening cartwheel. The region has an aura of calm, and it would be easy to overlook or pass through without a second thought. And so beyond the valley, as well as you go over this ridge, you can see a row of sharper mountains that quickly seem to break. They're not another row beyond them and another beyond them. It's just one big row. And that seems to be the physical border between the kingdoms of Karadmoren and Elenvir. So you are right at that line. And it is late in the afternoon by the time you guys reach the center of Old Town, and clouds gather about the skies. Rain begins to fall, which muddies the ground and the old dirt roads. Limralt, turning back towards you on his cart of exotic feathers and furs, he goes, the careening cartwheel's just up this way, Jar, you got a couple coin on you?
Oh, I've got plenty of coin.
I need some for the stable boy.
Always needing coin.
You throw him some gold.
Yeah.
And he, as quickly as he catches it, he tosses it on down to a dirty-looking child who grabs it and begins to guide his cart, as well as yours, towards some space in the stables beside the tavern. Outside the tavern, though there's some noise coming from within, and actually you hear something you wouldn't expect. You overhear it as you go meandering on past getting your cart stabled. Draconic being spoken from within there? But the only person outside the tavern in the rain appears to be an elderly beggar with a long white beard. He's wearing ripped up rags, and his body is frail and emaciated. And he looks towards the group as you make your way on past, and he goes, Gilroy! Where's the one named Gilroy?
Do I know you?
You come with me, come now!
Do you want company?
Yes, can I bring a friend?
Yes.
Okay.
It's old town. It's not going to hurt you. They're good people here.
And he begins to hobble on off with Gilroy and Bailey, taking them behind the tavern. And,
See you guys.
turning back towards you guys, he reaches a groupings of rotting barrels that seems to have been discarded back here. Otherwise, the ground is used for grazing for the various mules and whatnot that the tavern employs. And he turns back, and quickly his form begins to shift from the face of this elderly, frail man to the frail Nonagus Zane. Who goes,
Yes.
You just had to see that, didn't you, Melee?
Ridiculous.
What?
Can I go
have-
back to the tavern? I'm leaving.
Okay.
Good luck.
Gilroy, listen.
Yes, old friend.
I was waylaid. I had to use my potions to hide myself. Pretty good, don't you say?
Oh, you've done a wonderful job.
I can tell she was impressed. Anyway, I have information for you, and the reasons I couldn't make it to Sumeria. One of your old nemesis, Inquisitor Eris. She tried to stop us on our way out of Sarangar.
Yes.
Nearly found me in my hiding space. Well, she's here, along with her band of Inquisitors, out in the countryside awaiting your march. Somehow she caught whiff of you.
I knew it would be dangerous coming this close to Farrenwell, but I didn't expect to see her so soon. How many men does she have?
Maybe a dozen, but the problem being they're Inquisitors. Well-trained and dangerous. Their daggers are poisoned.
Yes, our single run-in with them was... Well, it didn't go quite like I had hoped.
No, though. He looks at your spell book. It's a bit thicker than it used to be, and he goes, you've learned much since then. Maybe you'll stand a better chance, but I'm thinking we have to destroy them tonight. And by we, I mean you. She's obviously looking for Clara. So, you have to get to her before she gets to you on the roads or to you in town. She's hidden by a windmill. You can get yourself settled in and whatnot, but when the time comes tonight, I beg you, go out and strike first.
I think you're probably right. I will raise it to the party, and, well, hopefully they'll see the sense in that. In the meantime, stay hidden.
Right. That potion was expensive, but I'll brew another. And, Gilroy, you intend to go to Sumeria, right? That was your next stop, hopefully.
Correct, yes.
'Cause I haven't died yet as long as I've been traveling with you, so I'll probably join you there. Nonagus, Gilroy, on the road once more.
Yes, okay.
I'll be in contact. I've got some brewing to do.
Wonderful. We won't be going far, I'm sure.
Excellent.
I'll see you around.
Did you just banish him?
No, I appreciate the work. Not, I guess I do. And, I put your notes to good use, actually.
Did you?
Yes.
Good. I wasn't in the best of favors last I left off, so hopefully that improves things.
Yes. All right. Well,
Go get yourself a drink, Gilroy.
you know we don't drink at Nelveron's.
You don't drink. Monogamous is a party, man. Holding up all sorts of vials and stuff.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so you guys turn to go into the tavern. Jar, Leander, Erlon, and Bailey jogs around the tavern and quickly meets back up with you.
Yeah, I tell you guys, it's no one important.
Good to hear.
But then I actually tell you, but yeah.
It's no one important. It's not, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
And so you guys pass under the sign of the careening cartwheel and through the double doors, finding yourselves in a moderately sized 2-story tavern. Its windows are dirtied and the sills are a bit dusty, but there is a warmth and welcoming kind of aura to this space. And behind the bar stands a pudgy half-orc who calls out, "Good evening, adventurers!" His eyes narrow when he sees Limrolt. "There's some space by the bar right here. And welcome to the careening cartwheel. The name is Duran. And what can I get you tonight?"
A hot chocolate.
"What? No, wait. I got some kind of shipment from Zaida 2 months ago, but he opens it on up this, a crate, a small one, of this brown dust, though it appears to have bits of white mold at the top. And he goes, "Well, this do."
Yes.
He brings you a hot chocolate, hands it your way. It smells a little funky. Are you gonna drink it?
Yes.
Roll Constitution.
Yeah, +3.
I'm at +7.
Leander's
With,
aura.
with advantage! My Philosopher's Stone! I never changed
Yeah,
it.
so we haven't seen that.
Yeah. 26.
Nice.
Down it, no problem. The half-orc gives you a side eye as you do so.
It's been so long. Thank you.
An ale would be good.
That's more like, yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking. He pours you guys 2 bucks of ale, turns towards you, free roamer.
Give me the greatest thing you got.
The greatest we got. He goes underneath and goes, "This is, pulls out a full tankard, and he goes, "This is from Sumania. The High Elf Amber Wave, they call it. It's, well, brewed over elf time. So, to them, where it was normally take a month," cracks it on open, begins pouring an obviously beautiful and perfectly balanced, aromatic, beautiful, gorgeous-looking drink that he serves in a special glass, and he goes, "It should be good." That's gonna be 50 gold.
Alright. I like to test the strongest liquors of all the taverns we go to.
Strongest, yeah. Tastiest. And, Duran, you down it?
Yeah, I down
is
it.
delicious, and it goes down super smooth. It's cold, but it's not nearly as strong as you would have thought for 50 gold.
Damn high elves.
Exactly. And Duran, as he turns towards you, Jar, he goes, "And what will it be for you?" And you see Jar underneath his robe, a dark iron and curved dagger.
Jar will kind of just move his cloak a little bit to show the same in return, and I'll try some of what he's having.
"Oh, of course. Not an issue." He pours you a glass and he goes, "Just a moment." And at that time, a group of copper dragonborn make their way out from a side room and begin to settle in the common room. They're some of the only patrons, it seems, that aren't local farmers or dwarves with their hands dirtied from their time in the coal mines. And it seems as though, 5 copper or bronze dragonborn, actually, bronze, and they're soldiers dressed in foreign hide armor that looks much like the skins of alligators. All very large in stature and rather boisterous, and they sit down for a drink. Some of them peering over in your direction and then returning.
jar as an aside to the bartender and some sort of cant. So they work for the library.
Oh, he returns in some sort of pain. Do they now? Well, those Dragonborn there, they're an interesting group, and I'm afraid I'll be waylaid with maintaining them, but you make your way to the stables when you get the chance. The empty lot in the back should be a lever.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly. And Limralt, also overhearing this, gives you a nudge, essentially.
Yeah, so I'll go out sipping my fine drink, not, chugging it all in one gulp like some barbarian.
While Jar slips out before we cut to that scene, does anyone approach the bronze dragonborns, or let them do their thing?
I can't understand them.
Not at the moment.
Yeah.
I think Erlon's just gonna keep an ear out on what they're talking about, because he hasn't seen a lot of Dragonborn, and
No.
from what he knows about dragons, especially the one that took him down, he's not super into being around them.
No, absolutely, yeah.
He doesn't
Dangerous
really
enemies.
understand. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I think Leander's just gonna put his feet up.
Alright, so, yeah, they switch over to the common tongue after some time, seemingly almost trying to get your attention, in that you're listening in. And,
This is nothing special.
one of them goes, someone ought to tell us a story. We came all the way up this way north. Someone's got a story to tell, or a poem, and he addresses the entire group and everyone in the tavern and goes, anyone? Anyone at all?
Maylee's gonna put her hand on Erlon's arm and just be like,
Leander, don't you have a song?
I do. Yes.
What? You're some kind of bard? Don't look it.
No. I don't claim to be a bard. It's a short ballad I wrote about a pal of mine.
Oh, let's hear it. Give it to us. Arena at the bar slams back her drink.
All right. This was one in Sarengar. You believe that? We were a long ways away from here.
We don't know where that is.
Well, it's cold. All right, here. Tunnels and tunnels and kobolds, sewers and men, but the weakest of all came at us round the bend. As he charged down the hall, Erlon reversed this mere thrall, turning him up on his head. The Minotaur fell after the bell, and this is the fight we tell. For the real Minotaur, Erlon took their heads.
There's a resounding cheer, hurrah! As all the Dragonborns clink their glasses together and drink to your poem and invite you on over towards them. And one grabs you by the shoulder, Leander, and goes, Bronze Company, 33rd hatching. Good to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Yeah, come, have a seat. We come all the way from Kalaira. Who was that song about?
That's the guy right there.
They almost beckon you to come over towards them.
I walk
Maylee's
over
gonna order
slowly.
another ale.
Alright. And before we cut back to that,
Sorry.
we'll swap over to Jar, who is making his way out to the stable. Indeed, many of them, you see your wagon being taken care of, polished by the stable boy, your horses, and Hurston at work settling your horses and whatnot. The rest of the stables also occupied by horses, mules, donkeys, but the last one on the left, covered in hay that seems to be rather undisturbed comparatively, has a lever on the inside that it seems as though you could give it a pull. And Limroth comes running up behind you with his stubby legs, and he goes, well, I've been looking forward to this. We've been members for some time, but it feels like it's all just secrets and vagueness, and maybe finally we'll, see what this is all about.
It will be interesting. We have information. It'll be good.
He takes a step onto that space and awaits you to pull the lever.
Okay, I will do so.
Alright, with a great creaking and a clanking of chains, some mechanism begins, which causes that hay-covered space of the stable to begin lowering further and further down. First, through what appears to be just earth and dirt, very dark, and then as you go further and your eyes adjust, as well as Limrod's, you see that it is stone that has been carved now to create this tunnel, this chasm, further and further. And Limrod looks towards you and he goes, you know, Jar, well, in honesty, I always reported to Duran. I don't know what we're gonna find down here, but, well, I'm glad I get to do it with you.
Indeed, we're moving up in the world together, as it should be, my friend.
Yes, moving up. As you descend.
Figuratively, of course.
Right. You're always good with the words. Maybe you can do the talking with whoever we meet down here. And with that, there's a great as you find yourself in a long, dark hallway. As you begin to move your way on down, your footsteps echoing and causing the air to reverberate, you reach a door of simple design, stone, but adorned with a skull on the very front for kind of a locking mechanism.
So, examining it, does Jar know how to use it? Is it?
Yeah, it appears as though a proficient thief should be able to make their way through this, though. There is no exact, door handle or anything,
Okay.
so... you work at the mechanism, there's no need to roll, you're going to be able to open this right on up, and with a the door begins to swing on open silently, and you find yourself in a room lit by green flame. The very center of it has an altar with a box atop of it. The box is covered in skeletal imprints, essentially. Some of them skulls, some of them full skeletons, but it is absolutely covered in them, and the detail is striking. And as you step into the room, there is a vibration and a voice that rings out, and it goes, "Ja, Limrod, how far you have come. Your reward awaits in time." And as you look upon the box, you can see it has 3 indents. They appear to be gem-shaped. The voice rings out once more. "Us of the Ungoliacs have long followed the teachings of Diadar Duskrin. He left plots and plans that would span centuries. A genius mastermind of the assassin craft. Indeed, he caused tremors throughout the world when he destroyed a high priestess of Tyr in her own temple among the peoples of Sumeria, causing a chasm between elves on Alaire. But those actions may not have been taken for an evil cause, but perhaps out of necessity. 3 gems you will find, Jar. 3. A diamond, ruby, and emerald. Diadar Duskrin left them with the 3 head priestesses of the temples of Elenvir. You'll be interacting with them soon enough. You need not slay them, but get those 3 gems, return here, and Diadar's plot will continue to come to fruition. And I'm certain you see a slight shadow whiff across the other side of the room with incredible blinding speed. I'm certain the reward will be grand. And then the room goes cold. Limrod looks towards you and he goes, "Oh my!" Well, seems like this is mostly your doings now. I'm practically speechless. Well, let's get out of here. In the least, this place sends a shiver down my spine, and there's nothing more we can do here.
All right. Oh, by the way, did you send those reports?
To Duran, yes.
Okay.
From where they went past that, I'm not sure, but... well, he may know more secrets than even I.
All right, well, we have our marching orders. Let's go join the others. And
Well, I'm hoping the best for you, Jar.
what's the worst that could happen?
And Limrold gives a tug on the lever to begin ascending, seemingly ready to get out of that space. And he turns towards you on the way back up and he goes, I have to admit, Jar, that was a bit unsettling even for me. Those forces down there, well, I know we've put a lot of faith in this, but do you really think they mean the best for you?
I don't know, but I was nearly killed by a demon, so I'm okay with things right now.
I suppose you have a different perspective on things than I do. I'll try and watch your back when I can, but make sure you watch it too. There's only so much I can do.
Well, I thank you, Limo. And I will watch out for you, my good friend. You're about as close as I have left living to family around me.
Quit your yapping, Jar!
No, you stay out of trouble. Stop spending all my gold.
You reach back into the stables unsuspectingly. The stable boy doesn't even notice the movement. And cutting back into the tavern, Erlon and Leander, among these bronze dragonborn, they seem to be more than willing to share drinks with you and whatnot. And they go, one of the lead ones of these 5 soldiers goes, yeah, we came all the way up from Alaire. It was a long journey, but, well, very interesting. Very interesting. The coast is a dangerous place these days.
I bet. Zaida, I assume, went up through there, or?
Yeah. It's more like Alaire than not, actually, along the beaches. The sand feels good underfoot, but they seem to be very chatty, like they have a lot to say. And, well, anyway, we were sent up to figure out the current events up here in Karadmoren and Elenvir and report back to Orelon.
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 Orelon. Gosh, don't desecrate that name, please. And any of you who overhear that can roll history.
Is Jar back in the...
Yeah, you're making your way back in, yeah.
Okay.
12.
24.
Not 20.
26.
Alright, so...
Me and Erlon got no clue.
I don't know nothing about sand.
Gilroy starts to say something about him, and then Jar comes in and is like, well, actually...
And, you, Melee, Jar, and Gilroy know. Orelon is one of the ancient dragons of the south, one of the 6 who own city-states and have hatcheries which create these dragonborn soldiers. As an ancient bronze dragon, he's aloof and generally considered to be a force for good. Orelon and his capital are known to be one of the few spaces in which foreigners can actually manage to eke out an existence in the kingdom of Alaire.
Well, we have no shortage of news from Karadmoren.
Well, give it to us. Well, we need to make note.
Well, we instilled a new king.
New king.
Yes.
Room.
Raoun, yeah.
Raoun.
Yes.
It's been very active. He was there when the 21st hatchery came. The 33rd now.
Right. Wow. How old are you?
Me? I'm 15.
Okay.
I just look, I'm like...
Water wheel. New city. Big.
Water wheel.
Power.
Any notable features?
Big water wheel.
Water wheels.
They have a gate that makes lightning.
Lightning gate. That sounds
Isn't that
awesome.
what you breathe?
Yes.
What?
Duran shaking his head.
You totally spilled my beer on like a passerby.
Yeah, scars the top of the roof of this common room with arcing red that burns through the wood. Oh, that's not allowed here. And he tosses a coin of silver towards Duran, who takes it nodding. Anything else?
We destroyed the mightiest purple worm.
We did. We refilled the halls of Steelhammer Stronghold with ore.
Wow, this is a lot of information.
It was all in like 2 days.
My, how time flies.
I love how like Leander has like legit events, and you're just like worms.
Strength is more important.
Yes.
These people need to know who we are.
It
sounds like
Maylee's just next to Gilroy, like.
It sounds like a tall tale. Like, we refilled the mines with ore. Like,
And I want to make something up.
yeah.
What they actually did is they destroyed the priceless artifact, but that's beside the point.
Oh, everyone's done that sometime or another.
It was cursed.
Not me.
What else? Do you know?
Sargar. I've never heard of the place, but we gotta make notes.
It's my home.
Home of... What are you?
Erlon, half-elf,
Erlon,
free roamer of Sarangar.
free roamer.
The
The mighty Minotaur.
Erlon the Strong, actually.
Erlon the
I've been told.
Strong.
Erlon the Strong. Okay. I don't know. Sarangar's doing good. Maybe he'll know more.
Current leader.
Jarl
Morgon.
Morgan. Yes.
All right. This note, cut back on weeks of our adventure up this way, and it'll take a good year and a half to make its way up the chain, but eventually Orlan will read it. He closes it on up and seals it in a letter, pours some wax over it and stamps it, and you didn't even notice he was heating wax. And he goes, excellent, you have been worthy allies, good friends. In the Bronze Company, we are at your service.
Good to know.
Maybe
Maybe
we fast forward to when we're in Orlon's
Chambers. Level 17.
Yes, a year and a half later.
No, exactly. While this is happening, roll me a perception check.
Everyone?
Everyone, you're all in the common room now.
Yeah.
25.
You are suitably distracted with these Dragonborn.
Oh.
25 there,
28.
28. Vander,
don't ask me in Erlon.
distracted.
18.
18, pretty good. But Melee and Jar, you guys, Gilroy, you notice Gentel go over towards the hearth. Gentel, your ranger. She bends by the hearth, but she always does, sitting there and muttering something quickly. However, finally, Melee and Jar, you two notice she has a strange-looking arrow. An arrow like those of which you haven't seen, and you've seen a good many arrows in your time, and like you haven't seen Melee ever use, and you've seen her quiver is filled with different fletched arrows of different abilities and whatnot. This one, completely different, and as she begins to mutter something over it, it glows a deep red, and then she hides it away rather quickly.
I suppose Jar will approach.
I don't like Jar approaching Chantel. I know that they kind of mended their fences a little bit, but I'm quite fond of Chantel, and I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, like
All right.
them alone.
So you'll make sure to
Plus, I noticed.
intercept on that? Alright.
Yeah.
Gilroy, you see Jar and Melee making their way towards Gentel, but you don't exactly know why. And Gentel, leaning by the fire, turns back quickly and she goes, Jar, Melee,
Gentil,
what is it?
what sort of artifact was that? I'm curious.
You are particularly curious, Jar.
It is my job.
Yes, and you've done well at that thus far, so I suppose if we're going to be completely honest with each other, then I may as well show it. And he pulls the arrow back out, displaying it. It's rather large, and it appears to have a circular kind of cylindrical head to it, and the head appears to be made of some metal. And she goes,
Let me see if I can ask, can I hold it?
Sure,
before
absolutely.
She talks about it, so.
and when you hold it, there is a flash of green that comes across your eyes, and you see before you a land of jungles very quickly. A beautiful, vibrant land. And as the sun quickly, very swiftly sinks across the horizon and the moon comes up, there are these great many flashes of what appears to be fireworks above the leaves, and some come from these greater trees in the center of the jungle, huge bursts of fireworks, and then in response all around in a ring, more goes blasting up atop the canopy and then exploding, and Gentel takes it back, releasing you from this vision, and she goes, "This is the means back into my home kingdom of Tai and Ephra. When the time comes, there's a well-hidden place, but, well, I need one of these arrows, and I need to maintain its charge. To do so, I must pray by the hearth of each home I step into, until I return someday."
Why haven't you decided to return yet? Why don't you travel with us?
You have a worthy cause, of course, and, well, I've gained much experience being your scout, much that I feel I'll need upon returning home. My family name, Duskrin, it has long been, well, it's carried a negative presence for some time.
I relate.
Yes, I know you do, Melee. And at that moment you see Duran. He looks over towards you, Melee, and seems to scratch his head, but he doesn't call out to you or anything.
I'm ignoring him.
Gentel goes, "So, I await until I have truly proven my honor, and my family's honor, until we've done something so righteous that the deeds of my past can be forgiven. And for that, I must continue maintaining this arrow until I return."
I can appreciate that.
Do you understand, Jar?
I do understand. I can understand being ashamed of one's origins. I have not the greatest origin myself, so... Yeah, sometimes good things come with terrible things.
Seems
Like me.
so. She gives a slight nod. She goes, "I'm glad. It seems as though perhaps we should maintain a mutual respect, Jar, and a distance."
Okay.
Which is kinder words than you've gotten out of her in the past, but she still obviously has a discomfort around you. And she stashes the arrow away once more and goes, "This tavern's getting stuffy. I think I'm going to go, take a look around the countryside. Won't get myself caught."
Gentil,
Yes.
quickly, before you go, heard word of the Inquisitors at a windmill outside of town.
Inquisitor Eris,
Yes.
the blasted sorceress. I remember her being quite a nuisance to you in the past, Gilroy.
Yes. Unlike many other foes I've faced, she was quite adept. But tonight might be our chance. Take some heat off of us and do some damage to some high-ranking Farinwellians.
I like the sound of that. I'll see if I can locate exactly which windmill they made their way to. She runs on out of the tavern and begins to scout across the countryside.
Going to ask the not, I guess. I'm assuming.
Yes, he's taken up residence here. Fortunately, wasn't able to make it back to Nelferon's, but he did have some good information and gave me that nugget.
He's not joining us tonight, then, I'm assuming. He doesn't often like to put himself in the middle of actual.
Yeah, I don't remember him being the... He was much like I was, and I don't think that much has changed in the months on the road. But no. But I think we should take advantage of this. It seems we have the upper hand in that we know where they are, roughly, and they may not know that we're in the area.
Duran calls towards you, Erlon, the half-orc, the pudgier half-orc behind the bar, and he goes, "Erlon! Erlon, could I have you for a moment here?"
I just stand up and Yep, walk away. Real.
leave Leander with the Dragonborn.
They seem to be having fun,
They-
and I'm warming up to them.
Yeah, and they certainly appreciate Leander's song and immediately turn over towards him. And as you make your way to Doran, he goes, he points at Melee, and he goes, "What's her name?"
Oh, that is our friend Melee.
Melee. She got the last name.
The hell if I know.
I don't want to be.
All I know is I don't want to be in front of her bow.
Fair point. I'm safe, aren't I? She's not like a bandit or nothing.
No, not a bandit at all.
Good. You well.
Safe is I don't know.
I don't.
I'm sure you're okay.
I don't want to be rude, you see, but she just looks familiar, and if I had the name, it might come back to me.
Did you ever actually tell us?
I've said it aloud in front of you guys.
I think everyone's just.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
He only uses his first name, so he's just like,
Scratching the back of his head, Duran calls over towards
he's not gonna
you.
remember all that.
She goes, Duran goes, "You there, Archer, Melee. Your name, your last name."
I just go by Melee.
Right, but the face is familiar, and I could have sworn I was left with some kind of message for a Melee, but...
Do you want to be safe?
Well, why don't I just see the message, and then I can tell you if it's for me.
Thing is, it was told to me at sword point, I'm afraid, and... Well, the wording I can kind of
I'm just gonna put my hand, like, on the bow. Be like, why don't you let me take a look at the message?
Right. Okay. And,
I don't know if I need to roll for that, or if you
no, he seems to get the point. And he hands you over
intimidate one of
if you want to roll it to see.
we'll go with it.
And he hands you on over a scrap of paper. It seemed quickly scrawled, and it says on the front, "Madame Lavarne Woodrow." And it goes, "To our dearest Melee, we wanted you to know we are tiring of your gallivanting and may soon take actions by our own hands." That's all.
That seems right.
Am I able to read that with you?
No, I'm not,
Okay.
like, showing
You
it.
gotta hold that close.
Yeah, just...
Duran goes, "I don't mean any offense, I wanted to get this right. That you, Melee, that's the you, Melee."
That is the me, Melee. I appreciate the message. I'm just gonna put down, like, a couple gold.
Okay. Of course. And your room's already ready. You're set. And well, quite the evening. Interesting bunch of patrons tonight. Very interesting for Old Town. And with that, throw me one more perception check. We'll probably cut the break in a second.
Aha.
What'd you get?
27.
Wow.
24.
Wow.
22.
Wow.
I was distracted by
Of course.
the note.
Yeah.
I got
No,
a
sorry,
19.
21.
Okay.
22.
Nice. So everyone but Melee, during this moment where she's reading the note, looks out across the tavern and across out the windows, a bit dusty, and you swear you see something large moving through the sky, large and bulky like a ship. And it blasts arcing across the sky, and then turns towards the south along the coast, and seems to make its way down there. Not a dragon, it doesn't have wings, but it looks a lot like the silhouette of a large galleon of sorts, a coastal ship. Interesting magical phenomenon.
Can I run outside to try to get a better look?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really weird.
It is.
And I want to make sure we're not in danger.
Yeah, alright. So as you gaze on up that way, you see that it looks quite a bit like a Farinwellian ship, but you've never seen any of them fly quite like that. It doesn't seem to be slowing down, and it arcs across the sky at great speed, obviously powered by some magical engine. It's intriguing in the least.
Doesn't make sense at all.
It seems the gnomes developed an Airmaster XL.
That's no gnome.
Excellent. And the evening goes on, the starry night sky twinkling above you as you get prepared to make your way into the countryside and finally settle things with Inquisitor Eris. And that's where we'll cut to break for this session. Thank you so much for joining us. TJ, how do you want to handle this giveaway?
Not just yet.
After the break?
No, we'll do it before. But I just want to say, if you're viewing this on Twitch live right now, we're doing a giveaway at 250 followers.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to do a giveaway right now, but that's from Free Comic Book Day from our comic and game shop, the Freakopolis Geekery. But yeah, we'd love to, if you're new to the stream and you're enjoying it, hit us with a follow. If you're really enjoying it and you want to really show your support, we are sub-enabled, so you can subscribe to us and get some sweet emotes and much thanks from the cast and crew of the show. If you're on YouTube, if you're watching this after the live taping, we're on the push for 300 subs. I think right now we're at 296.
Oh man, make it happen!
Yeah, so it'd be awesome. If you're not already subbed, if you could hit us up with a sub on YouTube. And now for our Free Comic Book Day giveaway. We had a great day yesterday, as we said. Everybody who came was entered to win one of our three, their choice of Marvel Young Guns variants. Some pretty sweet variant covers of some really cool
awesome
comics.
artists, yeah.
We've got a Spider-Man one. No trade dressing. It's just like full screen. It's got the artist's name attached to it, but they much
It's
deserve
an
it.
excellent Spider-Man.
Yeah, great Spider-Man in an action shot. X-23,
yeah,
very menacing looking, a little beat up and healing from some bullet wounds, it seems. Pepe Larraz there, and my personal favorite,
Mark Del Mundo's The Thing.
yes, on a Marvel 2 one. Yeah, I really like that one. I like his covers a lot. So we've got some entries here.
Yeah.
Gonna mix them up a little bit, and we'll get in contact if you're watching now. Let us know if the winner is watching in the chat. If not, we'll get a hold of you soon.
We'll message you.
Yeah, and you'll get your choice. All right, man. Here, why don't you pick it?
Me?
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
All right. Drum roll. And the winner is Tyler Hurlbert.
Oh, nice!
Yeah!
Awards! Awesome! Yeah,
So-
they're a great family, and they came by and bought a bunch of comics and
Yeah.
stuff. So, I think you have easiest access to them, probably.
We do have a phone number here and stuff, so
Awesome.
we'll be in contact with them. Thank you so much for your support and everyone who came down for Free Comic Book Day. We like doing these giveaways, and we're very excited.
Yeah, we'll be
This
doing
one
more
up here.
giveaways here on stream, for
No
sure.
doubt, yeah.
On the way to one for 250, and we'll think of some other cool stuff. There's
Awesome.
a lot of want for merch.
Seems
of
so.
Lands of Alaire.
Lands of Alaire posters and stuff.
Yeah, Landmaster XL bumper stickers.
Right? Yeah.
we got some ideas kicking around.
We do. All right, so 5-minute break. We'll be back taking down Inquisitor Eris and making our way to Ellenveer. Thanks so much, guys. See you then.